the morning show right here on the Raz News channel. Now, Britain's Prime Minister has marked his first year in office by admitting that his government could have handled COVID-19 differently had it known more about the coronavirus when it first hit the country. Boris Johnson spoke as indoor gyms and pools reopen in England, but what's on everybody's lips is the raging debate over whether or whether not to wear a mask. Should it be compulsory or not? As the Rise correspondent, THAMSANQA ZHOU has been finding out in London for us. We'll take this report. We'll be right back.
It's been a year since Boris Johnson became UK Prime Minister. At the time, Brexit was the biggest challenge in his in-tray.
I think 20 seconds would be sufficient.
But all that changed 6 months later when COVID-19 became a pandemic. His government's decision to make wearing of masks mandatory in shops and other enclosed public places is just but the latest tough action Mr. Johnson hopes will help avoid a second wave.
The purpose of the masks, as you know, is to stop you transmitting, any of us transmitting the virus to anybody else, and obviously it's a mutually beneficial thing, and it's the right thing to do in shops, in confined spaces where you're in company of people you don't normally meet, and also, of course, on public transport. So that's what the rules say.
Face coverings were already mandatory in trains, buses and at the airports. Scotland has had the requirement from the 10th of July too. But nothing about a novel coronavirus is straightforward. The decision taken before the summer break is not without controversy.
So Dubai has the shopping malls, Paris has Champs-Élysées, and London has Oxford Street. This is the kind of place one would come to find out what people think about these new rules, new laws that have been put in place, that everyone should wear a mask when they go shopping.
I guess you've just got to do the right thing for you, though. You've got to think about other people that have been, affected by coronavirus, or, the victims that have, suffered. And I completely agree with it. I think it's completely justified because obviously we don't want a second wave to come around. We're already doing it in train stations. We're already supposed to be doing it, in supermarkets on the weekends. So I completely agree. And I think the government's doing the right thing.
No, so I don't agree with it at all, if I'm completely honest. I understand we need to protect COVID and it's something that's ever spreading, but I do think at the same time we need life to get back to what it was. My personal opinion, we cannot carry our life on the way COVID is going. So masks, what do they protect? We can still breathe through the side of them. I don't particularly agree with them. I just think everyone needs to be respectful and safe in their own self and their own environment. But otherwise, just go out and live your life.
I don't like masks. It's too hot. No, it shouldn't be forced, but I think they should be compulsory, but the relevant masks to what they mean. Because I wear a medical mask for my treatments, but they do not protect about coronavirus.
The government enforcing everyone to wear masks, sometimes 50-50, yeah, because when it's hot weather, the heat of the mask is attracting bacteria, and it's not good for the coronavirus. And the rules need to be changed. They need to be more stricter, because look, everyone's around. Look, that's not 2 meters. No one's 2 meters apart. Do you know what I'm saying? Or they need to make it an official rule, because the police are just walking past. They're not doing anything about it. They need to be more engaged in it.
Anyone found on the wrong side of the law will be liable to a £100 fine. The shops and the supermarkets, however, say they will only be encouraging customers to wear the masks and leave the legal enforcement to the police.
Police-wise, I don't know, because if it was going to be police, it should have been police months ago, and we're going to have a second lockdown, apparently. So why are we letting everyone out now if we're going to be on a serious lockdown next month, or in the next couple of months? So I think, personally, policing isn't going to do anything.
The COVID-19 pandemic has become one of the biggest challenges of our generation. The speed with which the virus moves from one part of the world to another means it can only be eradicated through global efforts. But success in each country depends on its leadership as well as trust. In the UK, Boris Johnson and his cabinet were criticised for coming late to the mask party, just like US President Donald Trump. Doubters say the West should have followed the lead of Asian countries where the wearing of masks has long been mandatory.
So politicians say they have been following the science. But as we have seen, that science has been changing since this pandemic began.
There's been dispute, I think, amongst the scientists over the course of the pandemic about the utility of the mask, but the advice is getting clearer and clearer that they can be of benefit. So we're saying to people, wear them in shops and wear them on public transport.
But even now, there are people who are questioning why children are not being required to wear masks when they go shopping. Because they are the same children who might go home and infect the parents and the adults in their households. So whether this is the right decision or not, the jury is still out.
Thank you. How are you? Not very, very, very good. All good.
THAMSANQA, ZHOU, Arise News.
We are an NHS practice.